We're live. Does it look any better than it does?
Does whatever a spider can. We just got out of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, starring Miles Morales. Most people's first real introduction to the character of Miles Morales and the Spider-Verse as a whole. You're like, the fuck is a Spider-Gwen? Well, this movie is going to explain to you what that is. What is a Spider-Man noir? What is a Japanese anime spider lady? All these things and more are presented in a very understandable and amazing and entertaining and great animated movie package from Sony. That's right. Sony just got $800+ million with Venom, and now they got what I think is going to be another hit on their hands with Into the Spider-Verse. One of those is better than the other. Tyler, what did you think of the movie?
Into the Spider-Verse is definitely much better than Venom. It was much better than I thought it was going to be when I saw the first trailers. I actually really, really enjoyed this film and am looking forward to more. Hopefully they make more. I mean, this movie is going to make a lot of money, so
I feel like
they'll
I've
definitely make more.
had to be the pusher of this movie, the defender of this movie. A lot of people are not interested in the movie, both on our channel and just general public. I talk to a lot of people, and they're like, one, I don't care about Spider-Man. Two, I definitely don't care about animated Spider-Man. I'm like, your prejudices need to chill, because there's just so much to enjoy about this movie, and I could tell it was going to be unique from the first teaser. Just the shot of Miles jumping off the building with the glass shattering and him falling upside down and seeing the whole world from his perspective.
I didn't understand the concept of the, but I mean, it always, like, sorry, not during the movie, when the trailers first came out, but this is an element that has always been apparent in Spider-Man, right?
Yeah,
the multiverse.
For a while, there's been a lot with the Spider-Verse, and they're finally now getting that into animated.
So let's get into some key stuff.
So I think my notes on here have this symbol, because the biggest stellar thing that popped out to me with this movie is the amazing, stellar, and diverse voice cast.
Yeah.
So let's go down the list, shall we? Jake Johnson as Peter Parker. Everyone did great, but he stood out to me a lot.
Perfect.
With his lines.
For how they did the character.
And it came through, like, his persona really came through and shined with the character. At first, I thought it might be a weird fit, but you have to understand there's a lot about this Peter Parker that they don't show you in the trailers. And there's a lot of things that just make him different, and they make the Jake Johnson casting an amazing fit. Anything you want to say about Jake?
No, I just, like, to reiterate what you said, everything that they made about his character and who he is as a person, it just perfectly fit with the voice acting.
Someone that should also didn't have quite as much to do as Jake Johnson, but Haley Steinfeld as Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen is a character, the second she was created, I was mad at it. I was like, that's stupid. That's dumb. I don't like it, because the Spider-Verse thing had just popped off and I wasn't getting interested. This movie proved that sometimes you should just read a comic. That thing that I'm always saying in my reviews, read a comic, people, stop being so judgy. Read a comic. They got me on it. They did me to me.
You look like a dick.
I look like a real dick. And then I want to go on to the hardest name to pronounce in this, so I'm sorry if I butcher it, but Mahershala Ali, it's got to be close. He came from Luke Cage as Cottonmouth, and he plays Miles Morales' uncle, Aaron Davis, who was also played by Childish Gambino, Donald Glover in Spider-Man Homecoming. So there's a seed that this character could have more story going on. Hand gestures. How did he do? Because I think he's amazing in everything he does.
Great. I would have liked to have seen a lot more from him. Not that he wasn't in it plenty, but he did a great job.
His character was in it a lot. He didn't have enough time, I think, to really act and, like, do a lot with his voice. He had like, I would say, about 2 to 3 scenes that got to really have him.
Cast this guy's Blade.
He's got to be Blade. He just looks the part. And in Alita, he's got a long black trench coat, and I'm like, it's Blade.
It's Blade.
It's Blade. Okay, real quick, before we get to our main big point of voice acting, Brian Tyree Henry brilliantly played the dad, had a lot of emotional beats. I felt a lot of heart throughout this entire movie.
Flint Lockwood!
Is that who that is?
No, I don't know. There's the cop in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Oh my gosh.
And I just kept thinking of it.
Is that what?
He was a great character, though.
He was awesome. And then I knew this ahead of time, but because the voice was so off, it threw me for a loop watching the movie. Leif Schreiber, the one and only Sabretooth, was Kingpin slash Ray Donovan. Interesting choice. It's not the voice I thought that was going to come out of him for the role, but I like what they did with Kingpin. They gave him a little bit of backstory, but they had so many other heroes and characters going on that they couldn't really focus in and give us that compelling of a villain.
Yeah, it was cool. He was cool, and I was excited to see him be mean and a badass. But yeah, I definitely agree. There was a lot going on in the movie. Not a lot of people could be 100% fleshed out.
And I think one of the interesting things is we had Spider-Ham in that, and I still think Kingpin was the weirdest animated thing in that movie.
In awe of the size of this lad. Absolute unit.
Getting back to this. Okay, so I just wanted to really quickly, Nick Cage, Spider-Man Noir, had a great time, and I think he had a great time doing it.
Yeah, it was fun.
A lot of great one-liners and things that made most of the audience laugh. We're gonna tip off the voice acting with Shamik Moore, who is mostly known for the movie Dope, which I now really need to see because I've heard it's fantastic. Directed by Rick Famuyiwa, another name that I'm trying, guys. I'm trying really hard. Tell me how I'm wrong in the comments, please. He killed it, and now we have a quintessential voice for Miles Morales. If we ever read a Miles Morales comic, which I've been meaning to do, really, I want to know more about the character. I'm going to hear that voice.
Do we want to move on to animation, or do we want to talk about the story?
Oh, I want to do kind of like the behind the scenes and aesthetics things real first. So
Okay.
Voice acting and then animation. Animation is gorgeous, and I've been telling you guys it looked gorgeous for a while. Not to be that guy, dinging his own bell, but it looked beautiful, and it's even more beautiful seeing it in full motion.
It was awesome, and I did think it was really weird at first. What are we doing? Trying to focus
yeah,
it?
it was unfocused itself for a second.
It was really weird at first, like through the trailers and stuff. But once you know what you're going into, man, you do not like it is. It is so about itself yet all over the place, and it works with so many different styles within its style. If that makes any sense.
It has a beautiful like fluidity, but it's also non-fluid. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like it's a little jumpy, but it's fluid at the same time.
Right. It's you just have to like watch it because it's so unique, and it does so many things in the movie that you're like, you couldn't really do that with any other animation style. And I don't know how they came up with this, but it's really cool. So definitely looking forward to seeing this again. What's funny is normally when I'm watching a computer animated movie, I'm like, this is a cartoon. I'm watching a cartoon. I was so sucked into the animation and the movie and the characters with this that I had totally forgot that I was watching a cartoon, which sounds weird because like sometimes when you're watching a black and white movie, you forget that it's black and white. But there we go.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with all your sentiments on that. Animation was great. So, guys, if you had any doubts or second guesses about going to see it because of the animation, that should be why you go and see it.
Right.
Story, real quick. It's predictable in some ways, and not like the overall story. There's not a lot of surprises, I would say, but it's done well, and there's a unique enough spin on it that it's still very entertaining to watch.
I agree, and there's a lot of great humor in it, but it's not a super funny movie. There's a lot of very serious points in it, but it's not a very serious movie. It's just really well balanced, like a breakfast in a commercial with cereal and pancakes and eggs and bacon and
absolutely part of this balanced breakfast. Be happy, be healthy.
Right.
So I agree with that absolutely. Lasting point, because I mean you might come for the story, but I'm going to say that you're going to stay for the characters.
I will say the story's great and it's worth it, but the characters are done pretty damn well, actually.
Villains, we covered Kingpin a little bit. What did we think of Prowler? If you don't know anything about Prowler, we won't spoil anything about the character here, but just the menace of the character and the physical threat.
I think it was really cool. I think yeah, the menace, that's a good word for it, because he is terrifying at moments where he's I don't know. I'm kind of lost on that one.
Well, it's cool to have a villain that we've never really seen in the Spider-Man universe before.
For sure.
It's not one we've seen live action, animated, or otherwise.
Sure.
And again, we have something that's quintessential that now, if we hear Prowler, we're going to think of this movie.
Right.
Franchise potential. Do we want to see more? Should there be more?
There should definitely be more, for a fact.
I want to see every corner of this Spider-Verse. And I
Keeps
hear
on
they're going to
focusing.
do a
It should focus on you.
Spider-Woman universe type movie, which is fine.
You
But I
think
want
that
all
it
of
won't be Miles Morales 2? It'll be like they'll go into another universe.
It might be like Lego Movie. It's like we got Lego Movie, then we got Lego Batman, Lego Ninjago, and then Lego Movie 2. I'm thinking something like that. Like, as long as it's building on this world, I like it. This animation style, and there's a post-credit scene. I was gonna loop into that later, but stay for it. It's at the very, very, very end, all the way at the end.
Very, very, very end.
That starts setting up something that could be really cool, and then just ends up I love the end of it.
It's worth it.
So franchise, yeah, we both want a franchise, both want to see more. Talked about the post-credit scene a little bit. Last note, guys, it is animated, but there is definitely a Stan Lee cameo. So make sure your bodies are ready, because it got me a little bit.
In the feels.
So yeah, that's our final thoughts on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Review ran a little long because we got lots to say about this movie. I could go on and on.
You're right. It keeps like unfocusing. Anyway,
this phone is being craziness. Anyways, go see Spider-Man. See it twice. Make sure it makes money.
Do you have a rating?
More. What?
Do you have a rating yet?
Rating. We're doing partials. I'm doing an 8.9 because I'm a dick.
I'm gonna give it an 8 because I give everything an 8. And
Clap on. Focus.
does that make it work?
I don't know. 8.9 because 9 seems a little crazy. 8.5 still seems low, so I'm going 8.9. It was good. It was an amazing Spider-Man movie.
Except it wasn't.
It was superior. It was though.
Oh, it was superior to the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes,
it's better than the Amazing Spider-Man. So if you like those,
better than most Spider-Man movies.
Then there you go.
If not all, this could be the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time. We'll let you decide. Let us know in the comments down below.
I don't think it's the best Spider-Man.
I think it's debatable.
Made.
I'm not saying it is.
I like Spider-Man Homecoming just as much.
But I think you can debate if it is.
I like Amazing Spider-Man 2 just as much. Get your fact right, boys. It was a
Spider-Man. Big words. All right, guys.
I don't know how to read.
Thanks for joining us in the live chat. So, any final thoughts?
Just go see it. Go see it. Go see it.
Wrapping it up. Thanks for visiting us on the web. All right, guys. We will catch you on the next review. We got a lot coming out this month, so be prepared and make sure to join in on those live streams and click the bell icon down below so you can get alerted when we do the live streams, and you will be there right from the beginning. So, until next time, this is Jesse and Tyler saying, may the film be with you. Bye-bye now.
Peace out. How do you turn this off?
You hit the X button.
Okay.
That's how I end every video. Is how